Dr. Thorne, I follow the leading of the chair in this instance because the chair was handed to you and you have asked me to make some brief remarks. So I say some of the things you said is what I would have said, so please accept what Pastor Dr. Thorne said as having come from me. But I should also say that the president of the East Caribbean Conference has been a blessed leader over the years, not just here in the East Caribbean Conference, but he has had global experience and exposure and expertise serving the church even at division level and union level, so that you would have had him as your president for the past 2 terms is a clear indication that God chooses. As the preacher said tonight, you know, we listen to God and we obey God and we go. Your president, Pastor Danforth Francis, has been that type of leader, very inspirational and experienced. More than that, he has given over 40 years, more than 40 years of service to the church, and has reached the age and stage where he could decide what he does. So I can tell you that from the Union, the Caribbean Union Conference, we received notice from the president himself that this is the last time he will be dealing with the issue of the presidency. In other words, he has announced his retirement. And so, even before he gives the report, I would like you to give a round of applause to your president, who has actually brought an end to his tenure with his boots on. With his boots on. Of course, he looks so well tonight. He is defying his age and his stage. So, based on what the preacher said, if the Lord say, "Hey, where are you going?" then that's between the Lord and him. But he has already declared. Ladies and gentlemen, my batchmate, Pastor Danforth Francis, is my batchmate. We all graduated in 1979, and he got married to, well, I would have to say, the most beautiful girl for him, and for many of us, because she was our batchmate, and Verna Samuel Francis really was such an elegant and principled lady and has stood by his side for all these many, many years. I think she deserves a round of applause tonight as well. I would ask her to stand because I know the hairstyle she normally carries, you know, beautiful British hairstyle. But I saw this lady came in earlier this evening, well dressed, and I'm saying, who is this lady? And when I got close, I realized it was Pastor Francis's wife. So obviously, she is ready to give every support and shout and scream at the report tonight. Stand, Sister Verna, so we can really give you a round of applause. Here is the president's wife. As beautiful as when she was a student at CUC. God has blessed this couple with a wonderful family, and we are proud. Their son, Dwight, is at the university giving yeoman service. I know they became grandparents again with their daughter not too long ago. She's an international. So what we are saying tonight, brothers and sisters, this is a night to celebrate, and many leaders would like to have this privilege for their last swan song to have it their way. Please welcome your president, Pastor Danforth R. Francis.
I just want to direct you to where you can find the text of the report. If you go to the menu, the 4 square dots, the dots, the 6 of them, 9 of them, on the top right-hand corner of your app, you'll see home schedule reports. If you click on reports, the first report that will come up is the President's report. That is there. So that's the text. You will find in the text our response to the recommendations of the plans and recommendation committee. You'll find there were 15 recommendations voted, and these have been responded to in the text. The video presentation will actually deal with the 3 pillars, strategic pillars of the conference during the period 2017 through 2020. That was embracing transformation. One pillar is transformation, growth, the second pillar, and partnership. So the video presentation will cover those three, and then I will give a few comments verbally, like how I'm giving it, about appreciation. So at this time, Mr. Chairman, we are going to present the video, and then I will say words of appreciation, and I will take my seat, and if you give me permission, my leave.
Mr. Chairman, Union President, Dr. Colonel Tobias, and the administration of the Caribbean Union, representatives from the Inter-American Division, delegates at large on the virtual platform, members, I'm very happy to be able to report to you how God has led the conference during the last quadrennial, January 1, 2017 to December 31, 2020. Indeed, we are pleased to have approached this period with confidence, as the same God who led us in the previous period would lead us again, and he did, with blessings beyond our expectation. So this video report will reveal and will give us an overview of the achievements with regards to the three strategic pillars: transformation, growth, and partnership of the mantra of the conference. The directors and the coordinators will give the details of this overview. But I begin with a text from Amos chapter 5, verse 21 to 24. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy sounds, for I will not hear the melody of the viol. In other words, events and activities could be misleading and may become ends in themselves. This report will seek to reveal the true character of a work. Verse 24 says, but let judgment run down as a river of water, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Ellen G. White says in Child Guidance, page 161, a character formed according to the divine likeness is the only treasure that we can take from this world to the next. Those who are under the instructions of Christ in this world will take every divine attainment with them to the heavenly mansions. And in heaven, we are continually to improve. How important then is the development of the character in this life? This quote had a lasting impression upon the administration and the committee, which led us to adopt the mantra for the quadrennium that just concluded: embracing transformation, growth, and partnership. There must be transformation, change, and growth. There must be partnership, the pairing of our talents, the collaboration of departments, and the pooling of resources. This was our quest, which is harder than just having programs. In spite of the challenge, we pursued it, and I believe that we made significant progress, as this report and the reports of the departmental directors and coordinators will reveal. That being said, I will now present the report under the three captions: significant words in the mantra, namely transformation, growth, and partnership. So, spiritual transformation. The focus began with spirituality of our members, since we are a church and we are looking for Christ's return to take us to heaven. So what could we do as an administration to deepen and tighten the embrace of our members to Christ? Our annual camp meeting was the zenith of the push for spiritual renewal and growth. We estimated that more than a third of our members were blessed by these gatherings of powerful and challenging preaching, heart-tugging singing, informative lectures, training sessions, and wonderful fellowship. We even had 2 communion services, which were also attended by non-SDAs. they were blessed by our style of communion service. There were also special features for the children planned and executed by the Children and Youth Ministries directors. Outstanding speakers like Pastor and Sister Mike Tucker and Pastor Brent St. John, a Dominican serving in St. Vincent, delivered relevant messages from God designed to do good. 3 of these events were held in Barbados and streamed to Dominica, while the last one was held in February 2020 in Dominica over the Carnival weekend and was streamed back to Barbados. We thought that we should feature the distinctiveness and uniqueness of being Assembly Adventist, since we are drawing nearer and nearer to the end. So we challenge our members to reflect on the uniqueness of Adventism with the 7 S. Second coming, signs of the coming, Sabbath, state of the dead, sanctuary, seal of God, and spirit of prophecy. The approximately 800 to 1,000 who attended the camp meeting in person left camp meeting with a deeper appreciation of their church and vowed to live better and transform lives for Jesus. A similar feeling was expressed by those who viewed it online. The annual conference-wide convention were another vehicle to drive up the spirituality of our members. At these sessions, the president addressed specific spiritual issues facing the conference, such as the need to be ready for Christ's coming, not leaving our youth behind, and Christian stewardship. 3 annual weeks of prayer, youth, adult, and children, buttressed by Prayer Ministries initiative, 10 days and 40 days of prayer, 2 prayer and spiritual prophecy conventions, Sabbath afternoon 1-hour prayer and praise sessions, helped to create the atmosphere in which all of our members could grow. Obviously, the encouragement of all levels to study the Sabbath school lesson and the weekly preaching of pastors, elders, and lay members contributed significantly to the effort of transformation. These efforts were also reinforced by departmental programs. Devotions on the Go by the Children's Ministries Director was a noteworthy addition. Another significant addition was made to the Sabbath School program. The inverse lesson replaced the collegiate quarterly and provided the youth with the opportunity to have a program called iConnect with inverse on Zoom and YouTube platform. This was well received with hundreds of viewers each week. The publishing department continued to promote the use of our books from the IADPA Book Center with the reading of the Desire of Ages. The department also partnered with the administration and the Personal Ministries Department to share and distribute thousands of books of the year, Priorities, and the Adventist World Magazine. The Reach for Life telecast and radio broadcast was Communications Department's effort to turn the hearts of our members to Christ. This local telecast and broadcast is being complemented by the 24/7 Hope Channel and 3ABN in Barbados. In Dominica, the local component to the media is Sanctified Soul Food on Carrie FM. Sister Priscilla Prevost also has a weekly health broadcast in Dominica promoting lifestyle changes. With the advent of COVID-19 early in 2020, both countries in our conference went into lockdown and in-person worship was curtailed. However, we were all well positioned to move to the virtual platform because we had the massive evangelistic program, Good News Gospel Explosion, #2019. The COVID-19 pandemic gave us an unexpected but needed test to see if our efforts of moving our members closer to Christ was being met with any success. As COVID-19 continues to be with us, we have observed that many of our members are still strong and faithful. But while some have, and we had a significant decline in our tithe and offerings, and we are not sure whether it was a sign of weakness of faith or a fact that it was more difficult to return their financial gifts. Since we have had some relaxation of the protocols, some income have begun to return. We are also observing a lack of attendance on some of our virtual platforms. The most concerning aspect, though, is that some individuals are forming and joining offshoot groups. We have observed that many who would not normally attend our prayer meetings are now attending. In that area, we have seen significant growth. Through anecdotal means, we know too that many of our members are now worshiping on other SDA virtual platforms. With that being said, we can conclude that our effort at spiritual transformation have had some measure of success. There was also the physical transformation. Not only did we have spiritual transformation, but a number of our church buildings were refurbished and some started their new building projects. We have a few here in Barbados and a few in Dominica. You can see the names: Alpha Emmanuel, Melverton, Pilgrim Road, Six Roads, Benz, Botica, Bourne, Pont Michel, Portsmouth, Roseau, St. Joseph, Tyrone, Wesley, Woodford Hill. Perhaps I have missed some, but they are continuing across the conference where churches are being built, churches are being refurbished. The focus of much of this construction was in Dominica due to the devastation caused by Hurricane Maria. Other churches were completed and dedicated: Beryl, Calabishi in Dominica, and New Life in Barbados. The dedication of Beryl Church offered us to have in our territory the newly minted president of the Inter-American Division, Dr. Ellie Henry, who was accompanied by the vice president, Dr. James Daniel. The union president, Dr. Kern Tobias, was also in attendance and brought a timely message of opportunity and necessity of our members to be ready for and to witness to others about the coming of Jesus Christ. Our appreciation to the HAIR organization is heartfelt and deep. We thank Maranatha International volunteers who were there in their numbers, and other volunteers, leaders, and family members. We were also pleased to dedicate the former conference office building at Britain's Crossroad as a mini conference center on December 4, 2019. Now we have an attractive facility to be used for training and other events. We extended the Bridgetown Primary School, making provision for the preschool, which was opened in September 2019. We also built the CVQ building at the Barbados Secondary School. The health department is assisting us in physical transformation by promoting vigorously the concept of moving to live and strengthening our immune system in the face of COVID-19 and other health-related matters, along with their continuous fight against the NCDs. So we are more informed and healthier people. The last great achievement was the Health Week 2020, which had a high-powered team of presenters, including Dr. David Williams from Harvard University. The program was broadcast on radio in Dominica and in Barbados. This brings us now to embracing growth. Personal and organizational growth is the second pillar of the mantra, and we believe that we also saw signs of progress in this area. During the period, many of our pastors and some of our directors continued their studies to equip themselves to be more efficient workers. The following workers completed their doctoral and master degrees. Doctoral degrees: Pastor Dr. Carol Dare, Dr. Shirlene Wilson, and Dr. Daphne McLeod. Those completing their masters: Sister Priscilla Prevost, Pastor Roosevelt Haynes, Pastor Anthony Hoyt, Pastor Royal Jackman, and Pastor Ernest Pending. These were improved and were better qualified to serve the church. Sister Priscilla Prevost was also honored by the government of Dominica with a Meritorious Service Award, and we congratulate them for their achievements, and we look forward to the benefiting from the upgrade as they in turn expose and train members in their respective areas of expertise. Many of our pastors were trained in mediation, and a few of them completed the studies. They also participated in continuing education with presenters from the higher organization, such as the University of the Southern Caribbean, and the monthly meetings with the president. On that front, the president also held a quarterly national elders meeting in Barbados, and though not as frequently, Elders Forum in Dominica. We also ordained 4 of our ministers, Shane Butcher, Jason Reed, and Roosevelt Haynes in Barbados, and Ernest Pending in Dominica. These men were recognized by the church as being called by God and have demonstrated evidence of this call in their lifelong ministry. Consequently, their ordination confirmed that they are capable of greater service to their church and profession. We thank God for their anointing and their growth. We are also able to relaunch the ASI chapter of Barbados, which was dormant for a while. We also established the Barbados Religious Liberty Association, BARLA. These 2 entities have now broadened the avenue of choice, which can afford our members additional opportunities to use their talents for our Lord. Our schools, though challenged by financial constraints, with their limited resources, were not only able to maintain their academic excellence, but in most cases have improved them. Our 4 primary schools continue to outperform many of their competitors in the secondary school entrance examination. In Barbados, we are averaging about 84% in the Barbados Secondary School entrance examination, and in a similar examination in Dominica, around 90% passes. To God be the glory. We took action to boost the school financing, asking each church to contribute a portion of their offering in a continuous and systematic way, making education a line item on each church's budget. We reminded the parents and the guardians that if their children are to be educated in our schools, they must be prepared to pay their fees on time so that school can meet their obligations. During this period, the conference, inclusive of its churches, continued its drive for qualitative growth among our members. Via services, prayer programs, and training, our members became stronger Adventists. Our youth department invested many of our young people. By our services, prayer programs, and training, our members became stronger Adventists. We have here the number of Adventists who were invested, 1,784, Pathfinders 1,811, Master Guidance AY 41 guys, 7 AY leaders, and in the PLA 9. So you can see that we trained not only the pastors, but we trained the members. There would have been an increased number in investitures and other aspects of youth ministries if the Christ Salvation Adventure Camporee had not been cancelled in 2020. We not only concentrated our efforts to ensure qualitative growth, but we also focused on quantitative growth. During the period, we placed heavy emphasis on evangelism, which led to our baptizing over 1,581 souls. The number indicated that we baptized 204 more persons than during the previous quadrennial. And we must remember, we were 1 year short because of COVID. Most of these were the results of ministerial workers' efforts. Pastor Sheldon Broom and George McCallum were the lead soul winners with 98 souls each. Baptisms with our schools accounted for 194 persons being added to the church. We had established a solid platform on which to build the final year of the quadrennium. But unexpectedly, COVID-19 came and turned the whole world upside down. In 2020, the curfews, the lockdowns necessitated the postponement of 2 major reaping events, Reaching the Unreached and the ASI program 2000 and beyond in Park Barbados. As a result, 2020 was the weakest year in terms of accessions, as just over 100 souls were baptized. Year 2019 was the most successful as we embarked on the first conference-wide evangelistic series, streamed live from Oldbury to the whole conference. Our speaker was Dr. Claudius Morgan, the assistant to the Union President for Evangelism. The 5-week campaign was well executed, and while some members did not fully accept the idea of streaming, what we learned is that if the preaching is excellent, if the field work is done, and Bible workers are efficient, then we can have success as God has promised. Of the 645 persons baptized, over 200 of them were baptized at the over 60 downlink sites in Barbados and Dominica. In the end, no one wanted to be left out. We must salute our media team, many of whom were young persons who volunteered their time and talent and resources. We are proud to have been able to plant a new congregation as a result of the campaign. This company is rightly called the Good News Community Church and is led by Pastor Carol Dell. Some members who were and very active in making and influencing others to join are now leading in this company of new believers. The executive committee has voted that it becomes a church, and we just accepted them prior to my report into the Sisterhood of Churches in the East Caribbean Conference. To God be the praise and glory. 2 other companies were also voted to change status, Alpha Emmanuel and Blessed Hope. Their pastor, Carol Dell, Pastor Deborah Spooner, and Dr. George McCallum must be congratulated for their work. And these other 2 were also accepted into the Sisterhood of Churches before this report was being screened. We thank God for the passion and the participation of our members and pastors who made this great achievement possible. Yet there are some churches that have not grown numerically during the period. We want to challenge them to rectify this in the coming quadrennial. The Caribbean Union has decided to build upon our evangelistic initiative and have a union-wide campaign from February 26 to March 27, 2021 from our Old Barry campsite. We are excited about the possibilities. We had thought that the pandemic would have been over, yet we are sure that the campaign will come off, even if virtually. Obviously, you can see that this report was written before that happened, and you know that it was a success. The campaign stream out of Barbados saw to some 2,000 people being baptized across the Union. It is our objective to plant 3 new congregations in Barbados. The first will be at Rock Hall, St. Thomas, led by Pastor Winston Cook, with the deacons and deaconesses being the workers. The second one, the re-establishment of the Charles Road Bridge congregation under the leadership of Pastor Reed, who currently is responsible for the churches in St. George. And the third initiative to be led by Pastor Deborah Spooner and her co-laborers, Pastor Ricardo Selman, Shane Busher, Samuel Burgess, and Anthony Sobers. We also hope to grow all other congregations, both in Barbados and Dominica. Each church has a goal of 15 souls, with 5 of them being won by the youth, 2 by the professionals, and 8 by the general membership. We anticipate a great harvest of souls across the Union. Our goal is 850. By the time this report is given, we would be in a position to say, to God be the praise for the new additions. Finally, embracing partnership. We are committed to the idea that together we can do more than we can alone. This concept is enshrined in the governance as an organization. We are part of a whole, so we share resources and personnel. The strong carry or help the weak. We see this approach demonstrated in our finances. Many of our members have been faithful in returning their tithes and offerings. As you know, the tithe is a special fund which is used for the support of the ministry, evangelism, the running of the office, and the work of the departments. The pastors who serve larger contributing churches are not paid more than the ones who serve less contributing churches. Their remuneration is based on a common wage factor. The offering is distributed through the 60-20-20 plan. 60% goes to the local church for its operation, 20% to the Conference Development Fund managed by the IDC Development Council, and the final 20% to world missions. Every member who returns to God their tithe and offering is supporting the work of the Seventh-day Adventist Church locally and worldwide. The church department conducts seminars, audits, and workshops, but still there is more work to be done in this area. It is still not sure why some members have the mistaken idea that the members are poor but the church is rich. What is true is that the members have the resources from which the church receives a portion. Therefore, if the church is not doing more, the members need to do more. The lack of total membership participation in this partnership is hindering the work. Ellen G. White insists that if all professed Christians were fully bringing their tithe to God, his treasury would be full. Let me read that again. If all professed Christians would faithfully bring their tithes to God, his treasury would be full. And then she says, and if all would be prompt in paying an honest tithe to the Lord, which is his portion, the treasury would not lack for means. The lack of means hinders the work in several ways. We are unable to increase the number of pastors employed, thus reducing the load of the present workforce. We cannot improve the lot of our retirees, who sacrifice their life so much for the work. We cannot develop our schools in the ways we would like. We are not able to go ahead and with the development of the Wellness Center or the Technical College at Oldbury. Neither can we develop the new Ebenezer School and other projects in Dominica. Other projects like restoring the Caves Nursing Home and redeveloping the Royal Verne House could not be addressed. However, because some churches have implemented, or some more churches have implemented the 60-20-20 distribution plan, we are able to pool more funds and to get access to more CURF loans and accomplish more together. Following are some of the examples. The continuing development at Oldbury, the preparation of rooms above the toilets, for example, for the campaign, the establishment of Advent Farms, the initiating of the solar energy project, church building projects got a big boost, assisted in the development of the preschool, the refurbishing of the former conference center, former conference office building at Britain's Cross Road, assisted in the CVQ building at the Bridgetown, the Barbados Secondary School. The conference was happy to partner with Maranatha International after the passing of Hurricane Maria, which devastated a number of churches in Dominica. Maranatha International decided to rebuild the Beryl Seventh-day Adventist Church in honor of its founder. This church was dedicated to the honor and glory of God on March 9, 2019. They were also instrumental in refurbishing and rebuilding the Wesley Church and the community center, respectively. Maranatha also commenced the reconstruction of the Botica Seventh-day Adventist Church before they left. We express our profound gratitude to Maranatha International for partnering with us. Gratitude is also extended to the community service team of builders and other volunteers from Barbados who assisted the recovery effort in Dominica. With reference to rendering assistance in Dominica, churches in Barbados also donated funds and supplies, so they also deserve our gratitude. We also want to express gratitude to the business community in Barbados, who through the dynamic ministry of Pastor Dale Haynes and the Personal Ministries and Sabbath School Department, was able to get them to partner with us in relieving the suffering caused by Hurricane Maria in Dominica in 2017. This partnership continued all through the quadrennium in the giving of material of care packages and other assistance during the shutdown and the hardship inflicted during the coronavirus pandemic. These same business community members contributed in cash and in kind to the 4 in-gathering campaigns that were held during the period. In addition, the general public also partnered with us in raising funds, which we added to the gifts of our members, making it possible to assist the wider community with over $1.4 million. We also benefited from the partnership of ADRA and the Hair Organization for assisting us in relieving the plight of Dominicans in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. They not only insisted in the rebuilding of churches, but they also funded host projects. The Hair Organization also sent containers of supplies and cash for the effect. for the affected families. While these partnerships that I mentioned before were happy occasions, I think it would be remiss of me not to share with you the partnership in sadness that we shared. I speak of the occasion when two of our senior ministers passed away within the space of 1 month. What an ordeal it was for the conference and the Dominicans. We all grieved the passing of Pastor Felix Jack and Pastor Jules Thomas. As president, I took the opportunity to visit the island and comfort the families and the members of their congregations. We believe that they died in Christ, so our weeping will not be in vain and without hope. We all shared in other pain when, because of COVID-19, the income of our conference fell and all workers were asked to take a salary cut, albeit for a short time. We thank the members who continue to be faithful, and as soon as the conditions which impacted changed, they returned their tithe and offerings, easing the circumstances they were given again. We sincerely wish that more members would join us in that partnership. For the past 4 years, we embraced transformation, growth, and partnership. In reflection, we can truly say, hitherto has the Lord brought us, and it is marvelous in our eyes. We certainly hope that every one of our members will continue to say, I will go into the new quadrennial.
Permit me now, Mr. Chairman, to express my appreciation. I'm indeed indebted to all the members of the conference who rallied around the leader you selected 5 years ago. It was my joy to lead the team of directors and coordinators and to work with the committee you selected to serve with me. Thank you for your financial support, which enabled the conference to pay its bills over the period. And so I ask the delegates to applaud the membership, the 27,000 members of our churches around the conference. Would you do that for me now? I ask you to cheer the elders of all the churches and the officers who gave their support to the initiatives rolled out by the conference and the pastors for the continued development of the churches across Barbados and Dominica. Let's applaud the elders and the pastors. But I have a special word for the pastors. It's true that whatever success we had as an organization, our well-trained pastors and capable pastoral staff were an integral part and critical part of that success. They were the ones who were there for you and for us in funerals, in weddings, in worship services, weeks of prayer, in social gatherings and building programs. These are the men and women who made things happen around the conference. So all the pastors and the Bible workers, would you kindly stand from both islands? Let's applaud them. Thank you very much. I need to remember the largest number or the largest workforce of our conference. That's the teachers. At this session, we have a limited number of teachers here, but they have done a tremendous job in our schools. So thank you for applauding them, but I want them to stand. The teachers who are here from our 6 schools who are here, the principals are here, and the teachers, would you kindly stand? All the teachers and the principals who are here, let's applaud them. Thank you very much. Our schools continue to do exceptionally well, and seems is the best secret in the world, that Seventh-day Adventist education is still the best. You didn't hear me? Then I must say a word of thanks and appreciation to the office staff, the people who have to deal with me every day. I want you to know that I love you all, and I really appreciated the fact that you tolerated me for the 9 years. Put your hands together for the office staff. Many of them are here today or tonight, still serving, still working. We will ask the new administration to have mercy. During the period, it was my joy and satisfaction to have one of the most efficient and creative, dedicated assistants in the person of Imogene McCallum. She made my work and new ideas into achievable strategies, many of which were accomplished. She was able to represent me on occasions. That was illustrative of my confidence in her as a worker. She often went beyond the call of duty, and heaven alone will reveal the impact of her work here in the East Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. Imogene and her husband took permanent return last November, and Cecile Connell, who is here, my present administrative assistant, is growing in the large shoes which Imogene left for her to wear. Give her a good round of applause. Deepest appreciation to my two colleagues, Dr. Pastor Colin Thorne and Sister Valrica. Dr. Colin Thorne is the Executive Secretary, and Sister Valrica Harrison-Dottin, the Treasurer, who are not only my friends, but partners in mission, and we made a wonderful team to advance the mission. I'll miss the two of you in our daily association. We did it together. Would you applaud them? Permit me to mention three individuals who made an invaluable contribution to the conference as they interacted with civil society on our behalf. Patrick Bryan, a senior officer in Town and Country Planning Office. Significant contribution to us, Patrick Bryan. And then the two IDC chairpersons, Carol Simpson and Renette John. These two men have worked internally for the development of our conference. Carol is unique in a man of figures and models, and he has been instrumental in our development of our farm and our solar energy project, which has many possibilities still ahead. And I'm sure that he will be an integral part, or they will be an integral part in our going forth with the technical college here on this campus and the wellness center. And I say eternity alone will reveal the extent of their contribution to this conference. Give them a round of applause again. Obviously, my deep appreciation and thanks go out to the higher organizations, especially the Caribbean Union Conference, Dr. Kern Tobes, the president of the conference, of the union. Could we give him an applause? Dr. Johnson, soon to be, they say, Dr. Johnson Fredericks. Could we give him a round of applause, the Executive Secretary? And Pastor Bertie Henry, the Treasurer of the Union. And all the directors of the Union for their leadership, guidance to me and the East Caribbean Conference. My penultimate gratitude goes to the love of my life. For her sacrifice of sharing her beloved honeybee with the SDA Church throughout the world for the past 43 plus years. God has blessed us enormously. Our 2 children and 3 grandchildren and our extended family. Obviously, we have only thanks to give to God who gave us the life, the strength, the skills, and everything else that we are so that we could have served them. So I end on these words. We are satisfied that I have fought a good fight and have finished my course. And fittingly ending here in Barbados and the East Caribbean began. 9 years, the last 9 years of prayerful devotion, dedication, commitment, and passion. We did achieve much. And as you elect your new leader and new leaders, may God continue to bless East Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. God bless you and continue to go forward.